Alright, people of the internet, quick pause in our conversation because today's episode is brought to you by Trident Trading. 10 years ago, a Kenyan woman sat down and decided she was going to learn the global financial markets. People of the internet, I am not talking about Forex, and I'm not talking about crypto bubbles or whatever scheme is hot this week. She has been helping hundreds of people find a living and create wealth. I am talking about options trading. Option trading runs on regulated American exchanges that has rules. The other thing it has, it rewards discipline over hype. Now, my friend is called Phyllis, a big supporter of Dialogues with Jagero. For the past 10 years, Phyllis has been doing options trading quietly, patiently, and daily. And now she has built a set of winning formulas you can trust, because I have tested it and I've seen her doing this with hundreds of people that are following her, and it is legit. She has strategies tested in real markets with real money in every kind of trading scenario. Now, she has turned around and started teaching other people how to do it too. People like you. Today, that work is called Trident Trading, and hundreds of our clients now use our formulas every single day to generate legitimate income from the markets without quitting their day jobs. People of the internet, pause. This is not a get-rich-quick story, by the way. This is a Kenyan woman who put in 10 years, so you don't have to start from scratch story. If you've been looking for a real side hustle, something with rules, something with proof, something that respects your money, Trident Trading is your gateway. Find them online and on social media, and let Phyllis show you what a decade of doing it right actually looks like. You can call them on +254 1163 11 000 or plus, this is WhatsApp by the way, +147 072 555 35. You will find all the description on the description of this podcast. Thank you very much, and now back to talk.
Tuesday. Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja, wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake, na Afrika itakwisha.
Wadhani agosho ngai no mwega na endesho de.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani ngwe.
Mr. Speaker, following the tragic events of 25th June of 2024, which I hope will never be repeated again in this country, a day that remains etched in our hearts, government was reminded of the need to always listen to the voices of our citizens. As I mentioned at the beginning of this statement, I championed public engagements with Kenyans of all walks of life while putting together this budget and the supporting policy measures. Mr. Speaker, over the last 1 month, focus has been more on the finance bill 2026. And like I mentioned, I engaged Kenyans widely in town hall meetings, various media stations, Bunge la Mwananchi at Jivanji Gardens here in Nairobi, Ongare Rongai in Kajiado, comrades at the University of Nairobi, Citizen Digital Experts, just to mention but a few. I wish to thank all Kenyans who took time to attend these forums and engage with me. My assurance is that their voices have been reflected in the proposals that I'm presenting today. Mr. Speaker, in preparing these proposals, I have been guided by the overriding principle of placing the well-being of the common Mwananchi first. In this regard, I have deliberately chosen not to introduce new taxes or increase tax rates that would further overburden the hard-working Kenyans and their families. Instead, the measures are focused on reforms that improve efficiency in tax collection, create a fairness in the tax system, and broaden the revenue base without burdening the Mwananchi. Outcomes. Mr. Speaker, Kenya's future depends on developing strong human capital. And to this end, we will continue to strengthen quality learning, training and research, promote equity and inclusivity, scale up investment in education, fortify the system against emerging technological and labor market shifts, as well as fortify education to industry linkages, thus ensuring skills match demand. Mr. Speaker, I propose 784.5 billion for the education sector. Mr. Speaker, a lot has been said about defunding education. But in 2026-27, we are proposing 784.5 billion shillings, which is 26.4% of the ministerial budgets. Compare that to 2021-2022 budget, before this administration came into office. The budget for education was 526 billion shillings. That has increased now by 49%. And it was 24.5% of the ministerial budget. Now it is 26.5% of the ministerial budget. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is not correct that this government, this administration is defunding education. In fact, we are funding it more. Equitable access to quality health services is essential for human capital, productivity, and poverty reduction. Towards this end, I have proposed 177.2 billion to the health sector to advance UHC and strengthen essential services. Key allocations include 8.6 billion salaries for UHC staff, 19.1 billion for primary healthcare fund to finance frontline services. Mr. Speaker, to reduce the burden of communicable diseases and advance immunization, I am proposing 18.5 billion for the Global Fund and 6.4 billion for vaccines and immunization program. This investment will protect children and communities and reduce health-related economic shocks. Mr. Speaker, tackling cancer and other chronic illnesses requires focused investment. I propose 3 billion to the Emergencies, Chronic and Critical Illness Fund, 1 billion for construction of a cancer center at Kisii Level 5 Hospital, 300 million to strengthen cancer management in Kenyatta National Hospital, and 150 million for the expansion of Comprehensive Cancer Center at Kenyatta University Teaching Referral and Research Hospital. These measures will expand diagnostic and treatment capacity across the region, given that we are leading as a leading hub in terms of health in this region. Mr. Speaker, to improve tertiary healthcare, I propose 45.3 billion for
All right. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Ruhu Chegero, and this is Political Headache coming to you at 7:30 in the evening from the good city of glasses, the city of glasses, Nairobi City, Nairobi County. Today we have heard what is going on with our government, with our budget. I am here in the house with young people, middle-aged people.
There's no middle-aged.
I don't think Mundalo is middle-aged. Mundalo is still in the bracket of. Mundalo, you're middle-aged. You're middle-aged, yeah?
Yeah, I'm slightly above Joachim.
Yeah.
I am the youngest in this room.
Are you?
Yes.
No, you are not the youngest in this room. The youngest in this room is Vash.
What is middle-aged, by the way?
Yeah.
Middle age is 50 and above, and you've just confessed.
No, being
I'm a middle age in 35.
Middle-aged ni SEO.
35.
middle-aged.
Yeah. So I have Mr. Mundalo, Advice Mundalo. Mundalo is a political consultant, a branding consultant, communication consultant, right?
You're going on well.
I got it right? Yes, very, very well.
Continue.
From the Two Cents Institute. Two Cents Institute. And then we have Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohad is an international mediator. By the way, you have never told us what you do. I think it is important for you to tell us what exactly you are. When I give you an opportunity to talk about the budget, I have Mr. Joachim Simiyu, the constant listener to every conversation in this room. He is the SG of Safina Party. Okay, and he's also an entrepreneur. We have, I don't know whether the camera is on the gentleman. I would like the camera on the gentleman over there. Okay, so that I can quickly introduce him. Kevin, you should be staying on your camera, my brother. You know, I want to introduce very important people, and you are away from your camera. So we have a member of Wiper Party. I don't know what has happened. Kevin Tafadhali. So we have Peter. Peter, what is your second name?
I'm Peter Edwin Moreu.
Peter?
Edwin.
Peter Edwin.
Yes.
So I can call you Peter Edwin.
Yes.
All right, great. So we have Peter from Wiper Party, but I do not know what he actually does outside the party. He told me last time, but I think it has passed my mind. But I will give you an opportunity to tell me what when he's giving his 2 cents on the budget. And then we have the lady researcher that is always here in the house, Vash Mundalo. I only realized the other day that her name is actually Queen Vashti, the one in the Bible. Okay?
Who is the queen?
Queen Vashti.
That's the name of Vash?
Yes, Queen Vashti. There is a queen in the Bible called Queen Vashti. I don't know whether she was I don't know whether she was a Jezebel or she was just a good one. I am not sure.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. And then we have on the other side Mr. Masete. Mr. Masete is also here. He's the one who is currently running our morning show. He's here to give his opinion. I want to start with Joachim now that Mundalo is still, but I'll go straight to Mundalo. I want to give each and everyone opportunity. People of the internet, these are Kenyans. We want to sample Kenyans on what their feeling is about the budget and what it means for us as a country. Mundalo, what do you think? How are you doing, and what do you think about the budget that has been read today?
I'm doing fine, Jagero. I think one of the fundamental things about the budget reading of today is that Mbadi has really tried to do a good job at communicating the budget, in such to an extent that by the time he's going to read it, most Kenyans have a fair understanding of exactly what is in there. And that has been able to ensure that the level of misinformation and disinformation is not at the fever pitch that it was in 2024.
Okay.
So that he has really been able to do it very well. I'm also excited at the fact that this budget does not come with any new taxes in it. I think that is one of the things that Kenyans were feeling very burdened about. And also it's significant that the education sector increase of about 11 or 12%. That is quite significant because education is quite fundamental in this country. So giving it and having it jump by 12%, I think that is a very welcome move for this year's budget.
Okay, I want to go to Mr. Mohammed. Mohammed, it's important that you tell us a little bit about what you do, so that people have got context. You know, you have appeared here. This is the 5th time wananiulizanga, da huyo kijana huyo wawajia mwenye alikuwa analia huko kwa Ruto. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for this golden opportunity. My name is Mohammed Bashir. I was born and raised in Garissa. I'm a interdisciplinary specialist focusing on politics, peace, security, and law. So I majorly work on those sectors.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. What do you think about the budget? You can push the mic closer to you, Kidogo. Yeah, that way. That is perfect.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, allow me to acknowledge and appreciate the fact that the government has made a communication. And remember, we had communication as a crisis in this government, whereby communication was treated as an aftermath.
Okay.
But the fact that the CS for Treasury, made a communication on how the budget will be, how everything has been budgeted. And in respect to that, there is a crisis. And the crisis is the normal Mwananchi is really suffering. It's suffering because the government has really taxed a lot of things which are essential to the locals and the local Mwananchi, that is, or the ordinary Kenyans, that is. Okay? And the government has done so because they have some development projects that really requires funding. So to me, I see there is a discrepancy or a disconnect between the government and the citizens.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I want to go to Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter, what do you think about? Tell me a little bit about what you do, because I think it has slipped my mind.
Yes.
Apart from trying to help Kalonzo clinch the seat.
Yes.
What do you do? How do you? I wanted to say, how do you put food on the table?
Thank you so
but
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jagero. My name is Peter Edwin.
Okay.
Professionally, I'm a procurement officer.
Okay.
And besides that, I'm also a youth leader at the Wiper Patriotic Front Party.
Loud a little bit.
Whose party leader is Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
So I majorly, I'm specialized in procurement and matters business.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think about the budget that has been read today?
First of all, I'll appreciate Buddy for doing some quite good PR because he has done a lot of public participation. Not only in universities, he has gone also to Bunge la Mwananchi. He has been to each and every place in each and every context, be it normal Mwananchi, be it to professionals, be it to traders. He has done some quite good public participation. That one I can agree. But my general feeling is that moving forward as a country, I think if you look at the budget, there's a deficit of about 1 trillion, which of course will be financed through debt.
Okay.
This debt really feeds on our opportunities as young people. Let me be specific. If you look at the budget, the whole breakdown, it's only about 780 billion that goes to development.
Okay.
The rest is recurring expenditure. So I think we'll be on the losing side when it comes to development.
Okay.
And I think moving forward, that's not quite a good trajectory as far as common Mwananchi is concerned, as far as development is concerned. But besides that, I'll also say that Mbadi really took a lot of time going through the whole thing.
Okay.
But generally, I think on development, Apo Kidogo, we have lost it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your party leader gave us a budget.
Yes.
What is going on there? Why are you in the United Opposition coming up with budgets? Which parliament are you going to read them?
First of all, we are the United Alternative Government.
Okay.
So we had an alternative,
What for?
So as to talk to our people and generally Kenyans and show them what we would have had we been in government. And when we come into government next year, if you look at our budget, it's 4.3 trillion.
Okay.
Government side, it's 4.8, which is more than 500
so a
billion.
Difference of how much?
500 billion.
500 billion.
Yes. And if you look at the majority of that overhaul,
yes, extra.
That extra mostly goes to executive. Why all this plunder in the executive?
Okay.
What development is going to executive? Instead, we are investing more in people, more in development, more in healthcare, things that affect common Mwananchi, and that is the budget that we will have as the coalition.
Okay.
Yes.
So the 500 billion.
Yes.
You are taking it from where? You are taking it from the 17 billion that Ruto takes to State House.
Yes.
Okay.
From the
Where
executive.
else? Mnachuna ingine wapi?
Tunachuna sana hapo kwa executive.
Okay.
And also from other confidential budgets.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
All right. Fair enough. And I will also ask Mundalo about this alternative budget and how it actually affects our country. But I want to go to Queen Vashti. Queen Vashti, what do you think? Tell us also a little bit about what you do. I just always tell people that you're a researcher, but the men are asking more. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Vashti, and I'm a researcher,
okay.
a road safety researcher, to be specific. I work in helmet safety most of the time if I'm not here with Jagero.
Okay.
What I think about the budget reading today, I think disinformation is one of the biggest challenges in democracy right now. And in the past, we have been having a lot of disinformation and misinformation about finance bill and budget processes. And so Mbadi has really tried this time round to curb that problem. And so I really commend him on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to go to Mr. Omaseta, the gentleman who is now doing our morning show. And I want to ask you, what do you think about this budget that has been read today?
Well, a very good evening to you, and thank you for having us in this session. Well, it is
the mic closer to you.
Right now, it's okay over here.
Yes.
So, when you ask me, compared to the other experts that were donated by ODM to government, I can say that John Mbadi has been outstanding in terms of trying to reach out to people and explain to them, trying to demystify what is in the budget, what is not. And so it has really helped the government in terms of communication, because the biggest challenge the government has been grappling with is communication. How is information reaching the people in the ground?
Yeah.
Because once there is a lot of misinformation, then propaganda takes center stage, which creates chaos, which is quite unnecessary. So according to me, number one, my biggest takeaway in John Mbadi's presentation on the floor of parliament is an increase of funding in the education sector. When I try to compare with the alternative budget that my brother has spoken about, the United Opposition were proposing, if they were in government, they could fund the education sector by a tune of 734 million. But today, John Mbadi has come out and explained he'll be funding the education sector with a whopping 784 billion, which is quite commendable because school principals have been complaining a lot about capitation in schools and also the trouble in regards to students transitioning from junior secondary to senior secondary. So when you ask me, that is my biggest takeaway, that education has been really, given the money that it requires so that it operates smoothly. From junior secondary to senior secondary, and all other sectors are in the education sector. Yeah.
Okay, great. I want to come to Mr. Joachim. Mr. Joachim, you guys are the debt professionals. You are the people that are saying, the gentleman has just talked about 1.1 billion that might actually come from debt, correct?
Trillion or billion?
It's a trillion.
Yeah.
It's 1.1 trillion.
Yeah, according to the estimates.
According to the estimates. The question that I want to ask you is, first of all, what is your thinking about this whole thing? You as Joachim, and I know, nyinyi kama Safina mmepigiana simu mkajadiliana mkaafikiana mkasema hii kitu Mbadi leo ametuosha namna gani? What do you think?
Let me start by being a pragmatic Kenyan.
Okay.
That John Mbadi has done a lot of weightlifting for this government.
Okay.
That has been incoherent for quite some time. And they have struggled to bring out even the simplest concepts for people to consume. But John Mbadi, being a Luo from Suba, he has done quite a very good weightlifting.
Yeah.
And I think his job of being a human shield for broad-based is really paying off.
Okay.
So my takeaway from the budget today is about, they're talking about estimates in allocation to different sectors. And I must mention the sector to education, which has been given 700 billion plus. So the allocation bit is usually the simplest part in budget making. The statement of how much do you intend to spend where, that is usually the simplest bit in reading of budget. But when the rubber meets the road, where you need now to produce the actual money to that particular sector you've allocated on the paper to, now it becomes a problem. Because now that you've called us a party of debt professionals, I want you to look at all this budget and its allocation. And in expenditure estimates, what's that one item that is taking more than every department or sector of the economy? That is one department that is consuming more than every other sector. And in this budget that we have read, and my friend Mundalo has mentioned, that this finance bill does not seek to raise any more taxes from the Kenyan people. But when I look at the numbers here, the finance bill seeks to raise 220 billion. So if it's not from more taxes, I wonder from where? Because the finance bill is not coming to revise the taxes lower, it is coming to revise them higher.
Yeah.
So if it is not actually raising taxes, then where is the government going to get the 220 billion they seek to raise from this finance bill? Now, that having been said, is how much is our estimated tax revenue away from debt, grants, and loans? In the budget submitted by John Mbadi, we are looking at raising our internal revenue streams around 3 trillion, which in my view is not a target that is going to be achieved. Because in the last financial year, we raised 2.5. So I don't know what we are going to do to increase the internal revenue streams to raise 500 extra billions. Out of this budget of 4.8 trillion, in my own estimates, if we are able to raise, using our taxes, 2.6 trillion, then we have a budget deficit of 4.8 minus 2.6, that is 2.2 trillion. 2.2 trillion that is not going to be raised generally from debt. According to the budget estimates, they are estimating to raise 1.1 trillion from debt. So where are they going to get the extra 1.1? Because with our internal revenue plus the debt estimated to be borrowed, it does not cover the budget to 4.8 trillion. So where are we going to raise the 1.1 trillion? That is the question. So from these figures, I am quite sure that we are going to struggle to fund the sectors we have pledged to fund, because most of the 2.6 trillion that we might be able to raise, most of it is going to pay the existing debt. So the first charge on our tax revenue collected, the first priority will go to paying debt, not to fund education. So the surplus.
But the gentleman has said, and I've also read that there is actually more than 700 billion that is pegged for education. Is it so? And I want to understand it from a point of when they say that they're going to give more than 700 billion to education. Is the money there?
No, it's not. So we are saying, what Mbadi is simply saying is this, that from the money we are going to raise as a country,
okay,
we are going to fund education with 700 billion.
Yes.
But as we stand today, we do not have it.
Where is it coming from?
From the taxes.
Because I saw that there is a jump. They want to jump the tax, because they jump the tax to almost 28% of the taxes in the next 1 or 2 years.
Yes.
And according to my research, it almost looks impossible, because the way taxes have been climbing is just about 2%, 3%, and so on and so forth. So when Mbadi says that we are going to be having 28% jump in taxes, where is this money coming from?
That's why I'm telling you, they have projected to raise 3.1 trillion.
Yes.
In terms of tax revenue. But I'm telling you, the most we can do is 2.6 from our own source revenue.
Okay.
So what is the shortfall from the internal revenue streams? That's 3.1, then 2.6. You have 500 billion that you now need to raise to cover the budget deficit. Then from 3.1 to 4.8, that is to be covered by what? By borrowing.
Okay.
So if you have estimated to borrow 1.1, you have an extra 500 billion that you need to raise, now that the taxes will not be able to cover that.
The budget is 4.6, right? 4.8? 4.8.
Yes.
But of the 4.8, he's trying to get 1.1 from borrowing.
Yes.
But he also has debt worth 2.1.
Yes.
So then, effectively, Mbadi is going to be having 3-point-something trillion debt to pay.
In the next financial year, beginning July, we are expected to cough 2 trillion to pay debt. So that is without allocating anything to any sector. So, just as my brother mentioned, they have an alternative budget if they were in power.
Okay.
I have looked at it and I have realized that we have a problem.
No. You have a problem with whose budget? With their budget?
The two budgets.
The two budgets?
Yes. Because the difference is 500 billion.
Okay.
So there is one big question in these budgets that has to be addressed. In all the sectors you have pledged to fund, where are you getting the money from?
No. I would like to.
But I would also want to hear from him also.
Okay.
Do you also have a stipulated budget from Safina Party?
We are saying this. Our budget. Our budget. The problem we are having with every budget. Is you can allocate whichever amount of money to anything. But at the end of the day, the only place you are going to get money from is from borrowing.
I want to read you our source of revenue.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to read for you.
Very nice.
Yes. Number one,
for education purposes.
It will include.
Okay. Kidogo, Mike, kidogo na wewe kidogo.
I want to read for the record here.
Yes.
Okay.
We will, aside from a few avenues of debt,
Okay.
one of the avenues will be sale of stalled affordable housing projects at a market value.
Sale of
stalled affordable housing
zile Ruto alijenga hajamaliza.
No, that's one.
Yes, that's one.
So
zile Ruto alijenga hajamaliza.
Let us put down those because we are being a pragmatic country and we want change.
Yes.
And that's the change we are looking for.
Okay.
So we are interrogating.
The change in Kalonzo.
No, listen. I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
Everyone is presenting their alternative way of governance.
Okay.
So the one on the table is from the Wiper Patriotic Front.
Okay.
United Alternative.
Against William Ruto's budget.
Okay.
So we are all in agreement, most of us on this table, that we do not want William.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are agreeing.
No.
Most of us. I have said most of us.
Most
if
of
you
us.
disagree,
Correct.
If you are a part of the minority, you could still remain quiet.
Minority will have their say.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and read.
Yes.
Okay.
Secondly.
Yes.
But can I ask him a question on the affordable housing?
No, let me first
don't ask.
this. Yes.
Now, so one is sale of stalled affordable houses.
Yes.
Okay.
At market rate.
Yes.
Very nice.
Okay.
Now let's
Secondly,
go forward.
Sale of stalled and failed projects at market price.
Another thing is sale of stalled.
Yes. And other failed projects.
Sale of stalled other projects.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Which other one?
No. This is not the time for questions. Sale of stalled other projects.
Just before Joachim explains more, let me expound on the figures because we want to talk about figures.
Yes.
Okay.
Based on the figures that the alternative, budget that was given by United Opposition,
yes,
they stated very clearly that they will get 200 billion. You can write it down for the record so that we do the mathematics the way it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
They will get 200 billion from the structured sale of stalled affordable housing projects.
So, kuuza nyumba za affordable houses, you seek
from
to raise
stalled,
200 billion.
From the
more
stalled.
than 200.
Okay.
Yes.
From the stalled.
Stalled, yes.
Yes.
We actually stipulated to be more than 300 because there are still some that will be ongoing.
Okay.
Yes.
Number
very
two,
nice.
They explained very well.
This is not how I planned this podcast to go, but it's really interesting.
Allow me to finish before you come in. Yes.
Okay.
They say they'll get 250 billion.
Yes.
Okay.
From single treasury account efficiency savings. Umeshika hiyo?
So efficiency from treasury, they seek to raise how much?
250 billion.
Very nice.
Number 3, they say they'll get 90 billion from simplified flat 7.5% rental income tax.
Efficiency kwanza wamesema wanataka pesa ngapi?
250 billion.
The next?
90 billion from simplified flat 7.5% rental income tax on large landlords. Umeshika hiyo?
Large landlords?
Yes.
Who are not paying land rates?
Exactly.
Okay.
Ingine akasema the contract that the technology running SHA, they will cancel it, and from that they'll get 104 billion.
Where from?
When they cancel the contract that SHA has, the system operating SHA,
yes,
they'll cancel it.
So how does that raise 104 billion?
It is their plan.
Oh.
Thank you, Mondalo, for coming to my rescue.
Yeah.
Okay. He was about to finish me. So the other money is 125 billion. It will be raised from halting non-priority vanity capital projects.
Yes.
Non-priority vanity capital projects. And 30 billion will come about after cutting down the cost of State House and NIS. Now, from those figures, you can do your math and understand how.
Read the last one, please.
The last one, about 30 billion.
Yes.
They will get 30 billion after cutting down the cost of State House and NIS.
Cost of State House?
Yes.
So let us do some summation here.
Yes.
We have 200 billion from stalled housing, affordable. Another how much? 200 billion from sale of other stalled projects.
90 billion from simplified flat 7.5%.
There is another 200 billion from efficiency at Treasury. 250 billion. So this is 650 billion, right?
Yes.
Then we have 90
billion from flat 7.5 rental income tax on large landlords.
So that's 340 billion. Plus how much? 30 billion.
104 billion from cancelling SHA technology.
Cancellation of SHA.
Yes.
Okay. Am I allowed so that we can now look in depth into this budget?
Yes, go ahead.
Before we move forward.
Yes, before we move forward.
I have a question for yes.
For the wiper people.
Yes. They are saying that they are going to cancel the SHA technology. After cancelling it, what is the plan after that? Because I have a feeling everyone here has a plan of what they are going to do, and their plan is just cancelling everything. When we get into office, we are going to cancel and cancel and cancel.
Yeah.
Even Joachim here, Mbadi said that we are not going to raise more taxes, but Joachim is saying that there's a problem with that. You're also opposing that.
No. I'm not opposing. You seems that you listened to respond instead of understanding.
I understood you. You
I
are opposing
said. Mbadi is saying we are not going to raise any more taxes.
Okay.
So I'm just asking a common sense question. The finance bill seeks to do what? To raise 220 billion. So I'm trying to understand, if it's not from taxes, then from what? Because why do we call it a finance bill? Is it coming to revise taxes downwards or upwards?
But weren't you the guys who are saying that we should not be having finance bills every year?
No, we are having it. The reason why we are saying a finance bill is not necessary, these are the instances that when you have approved expenditure for the next financial year and you have revenue estimates, but there is a shortfall and you seek to increase the tax base to raise a little more revenue from taxes, that's when you introduce a finance bill. That there is a shortfall on our expenditure, our internal revenue streams do not measure up, so we need to revise the current tax regime to raise something more. So in this case, from our expenditure of 4.8 trillion, we do not have enough money for it because we are going to raise less than 300 trillion. So the finance bill seeks to bridge the gap by raising 220 billion. So my question is, if Mbadi is saying his finance bill does not introduce any new tax, then what is raising the 220 billion? It means that they have been very clever in concealing what will raise the 220 billion.
Are you saying that this one has not been revealed by Mbadi?
It is in his best interest not to reveal. Because the objective of his excellent PR gimmicks is so that to bring down tensions, so that people do not get enraged. And one way of preventing people to get enraged is to conceal information that can cause rage. In this, I am asking a question. We have said we are not raising new taxes. How are we going to raise the 220 billion from the current finance bill? Now, that having been said, now we are looking at every alternative.
Yes. We go to wiper alternative.
Yes, the wiper alternative. Now, I am looking at stalled affordable houses project.
Yes.
We are going to have a problem here from this angle. How much do we raise from the from housing levy?
You want to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
I need us to understand one thing. I hope we are not in a public participation.
Okay.
Yes. And we are not going back to the finance bill.
Okay.
And to my understanding is,
all right.
Yes, Joachim is doing a very good job.
Okay.
And I think Safina Party is trying to be called the opposition, the right opposition that we have now as of now.
Okay.
But I think the conversation is supposed to shift okay, within the disparity that we have between the government and the common mwananchi.
Okay.
Okay, because automatically after this finance bill will be actually approved, okay, most of the people, most of the Kenyans will suffer. A good example, if let's say someone was getting a salary of 30,000 Kenyan shilling.
Okay.
That person is going to have a burden, and that person is going to have a depression in and out. Okay, so what we need to address is how can then the government try to stabilize the common mwananchi, especially the low-income people or the low-income citizens.
Okay.
I think that's where the discussion should shift.
I disagree.
I have been on the same trajectory.
Yes.
As my brother, because I'm questioning.
Yeah.
The source of the 220.
But I also did not understand his problem exactly. But I saw him talking to Mr. Mundalo. Mundalo, can you yes, Mundalo, can you expound what your problem is? No.
That was the problem. I have tried to be very disciplined.
Okay.
I was actually asked the same question, and I said,
okay,
it's better through Jagero
to
put it on table.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not because I had a better understanding. I'm also trying to get...
No, because
and also, I didn't hear quite well. I was trying to avoid a situation where we have a separate conversation.
Okay.
With the rest of
Because the reason why this one has come out is because we are not really public participating. We're just trying to understand. Because I think the reason why we keep having these conversations is that, well, the party leader of Wiper stood before Kenyans yesterday and gave their alternative budget. And I think these issues of budgets, it goes back to numbers and a lot of technicalities. And people want to understand, okay, number one, if you are saying that you've got an alternative budget that probably is going to ease the burden of the people of Kenya, okay, can we interrogate? Yes, it is going to be 500 billion plus less. But where are you getting it? And what are you going to do? And until Mr. Umasete actually talked about where they are going to get these things, it is so alarming.
And you see, Jagero, why I was silent is because it is always a good thing to discuss alternatives and solutions. Because critiquing and talking about who is doing the wrong thing is always the easiest conversation. That's why I was awaiting and silent, because I really wanted to have Joachim dig deep into those imaginations of the alternative budget.
And which was really beautiful,
You look at it,
no, just a minute.
I have quite a lot as well to be able to dig into the same.
Okay.
Because first of all, it's glaringly dangerous that you are proposing to be an alternative, and the best you can do is 500 billion. Forget about the practicability of even getting it in the first place. If you are really criticizing that this is a very huge budget, and then we realize that when you come up with yours, you can only be 500 billion shy. Now, if you can only be 500 billion shy when you are coming up with a proposal that should be a campaign tool, then that should show you that in practical element, you'll actually increase the budget.
But then
I want to really get, because I have my rebuttal of that budget.
Exactly. Of which budget? The other one? Okay, great. Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity. But also, yes.
When you are running a marathon,
okay,
the audience usually cheer the second runner more than they cheer the first, because they see the second runner as an underdog who has a chance to win. I want you to pay attention. I don't know why you are looking at camera.
I'm just wondering why they are moving them. I am so concerned, but it is all right.
Yes. So your concern now is the content.
Yes.
Or because we paid a lot of school fees to know these things.
Okay. I didn't know Safina Party has an academy.
No. For us, we have a policy lead of every sector.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
When we start talking about...
But you remember where you are?
Yes, I am on track.
Okay.
I am on track. So the first source of revenue, alternatively for our people, is sale of stalled housing project.
Yes.
My issue with that is this. As we speak, William Ruto is securitizing housing levy, which means that when we raise, for example, 100 billion from housing levy, it does not go to housing. it is used as security to obtain a loan. So housing levy becomes a security to the lender. It is his surety that he will raise the money he gave us. So any government that comes into power will have to abide by that. And so when you say you are selling affordable houses to the current market rates, and the question we've been asking is that we need to have the people paying housing levy are salaried people, all right? So how do they benefit from their deductions? Because who are these people we are selling the houses to? It's the same people we are having a problem from. So when you sell them according to the prevailing market rates, then the common person who has borne the brunt of building them does not benefit. And you are not. I also doubt if we will be able to touch the housing projects, because we have made them a security for a loan. Another thing, which is my issue, is sale of other stalled projects. So let's say a road has stalled. So how do you sell it? You sell it to
failed project.
Let's say a hospital or a stadium. We started building, but it has stalled. So you are seeking to raise 200 billion from other stalled projects.
No, Joachim, I think you are a little bit out of order.
Yes.
I am not part of United Opposition, but let's speak facts.
Yes.
They never talked about stalling of road projects. They only explained on affordable housing that have stalled.
No.
No.
You were mentioning other. No, I'm responding to what he said.
Yes. Okay, you can go ahead.
He said other.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So on that, the housing project we are done with.
Yeah.
I'm saying my issue with it is that we have securitized it to obtain a loan. So it's security for some lender somewhere. So touching it, we will have to actually justify. The other thing is other projects that have stalled, selling them. So we are commercializing stalled projects to raise money to fund our budget, all right? So I am just giving an example, because they are not specific with which particular project, apart from housing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if it's a stadium, let's say Talanta now stalls.
They did not say stadiums. They did not go into the particulars. But
that's why I'm going.
But can you give us examples of stall projects that you would sell?
Yes.
What are they? What can you actually sell?
I think it's generally the affordable houses.
No,
and
but
maybe
some
projects. If you go to
let's say Maurironi has sold.
Most towns today,
how do you sell it?
Jagero,
yes.
If you go to most towns today, you'll find some markets that have been built, especially on Thika Road. When you approach Githurai, there's a very large market, but imagine it's not in use.
So how do you sell it?
But it is sitting.
Such a project.
It is sitting on public land. It is sitting on public land.
So let's say, for example, Kangundo Market.
Yes, Kangundo Market.
It is not in use.
But it is sitting on public land.
But how do we now raise money from it?
And how much?
Who do we sell it to? Now who is selling?
Okay. And what is he going to do with it?
Because how did we build it? Using public money, right?
Yes.
So we are privatizing it. That's the simpler terms.
Yeah.
So it's like William Ruto privatized Kenya Pipeline Corporation and obtained money from it. So he turned a public asset into into private hands. So how is that going to be possible with a market? The reason why we are getting into all this, because my own proposal.
Okay. You have an alternative one.
Yes.
But I want to. But before you get into it, you must give a chance to Mundalo. Mundalo wants to talk widely about that wiper.
Yes. And I want to give him enough time.
Okay.
Our alternative is a 3-minute illustration.
Okay.
That what are we struggling with?
Okay.
We are raising money. Yes. In a year, we raise more than 2 trillion. Kenyans are working hard and they are giving out taxes. And the government people have come to actually say they have surpassed target by, the Treasury have surpassed target.
All right.
But we still find a problem with capitation money. we still find a problem with building infrastructure in school that is creating pressure that is even causing school unrest. Because I'm being told that in some schools, students bathe in turns. That if you took a shower today, you don't shower tomorrow. Because you are so many in school, so others will be the one showering. So we are trying to look at how do we raise money to build this infrastructure to lessen pressure. We are saying the biggest expenditure item in our budget is debt.
Okay.
So it is only prudent that you look at your biggest expenditure item and interrogate it. In our submission, we've said, audit this debt, establish its legality, and do not pay the illegal one, then use the money available to do other business. That is our own proposal. And it is free for interrogation, just as we've interrogated my brother.
How pragmatic will that be?
Yes.
No,
So-
we have had that a lot of times, and I think the pragmatism of it, Joachim has talked about it for a long time. If you go back to our conversations, it is like a gospel music. We've really had it a long time. But I want to give Mundalo might support you. Yes, let's go to Mundalo. Mundalo, what do you think about the budget of Wiper?
I think, Jagero, first of all, it's a very good thing and it's progressive.
Yeah.
That, the Wiper Party and the United Alternative Government, as they call themselves, has started trying to come up with solutions.
Okay.
Because for a very long time, we have always talked about they are deep in just telling us one term.
Okay.
And nothing more than that. For once, they have tried to come up with what can be a semblance of a solution. And I'm sure they now see how difficult it is to actually come up with a solution. Because 2 days later, almost everyone, you can see Jagero is Joachim is taking almost 3 hours just showing them how impossible their proposal is.
Yeah.
And that is what happens when you start talking solutions. And just the other day, we were busy here also telling Joachim how odious debt is not something that exists in Kenyan law, and therefore it falls flat foot. So when you look at their proposals, Jagero, first of all, the mere imagination that you are reducing only 500 billion and yet you want to use it as a campaign tool shows you that it has been very difficult for them to actually even find what to reduce. That essentially shows you that there is more likelihood that they will even increase more than reduce. And two, they talk about things sometimes that basic research would have told them, because they talk about bringing back Linda Mama in their proposal. Linda Mama already exists in SHA actually as an enhanced package. But now they bring it now and then they think it's a new thing. Basic ChatGPT research would have been able to show them that. Now they talk about youth employability, a concept that this administration has tried so much to do with providing the Nyota program. They have been one of the biggest critics and saying you are providing young people with handouts. Now they have proposed and say they will allocate 80 billion to youth employability. But then functions are not just about figures. And that's what Joachim is trying to interrogate. You are saying 80 billion. How does it create the jobs? How many jobs per year? What are these things that we are investing in? They cannot be able to answer those questions. You look, they're trying to say that they are going to increase allocations of monies to education and all that and all that. But they can't answer the simple question, fine, okay, you can't talk increase of money to different voting heads, but you're not also talking increase of the money that you're bringing in. Because you cannot be able to have an expenditure increase without us knowing where are you then getting the money. So these are questions that they do not answer in their document. Of course, I understand it is a populist document meant for campaign, but for it to be very well anchored, it must be practical. They talk about things like cancelling SHA and therefore you get 104 billion. Last time I checked, Jagero, when we cancel a contract, we lose money, we don't make money. When we canceled the JKIA deal, I forget the name, their Danny deal, we lose money. When we cancelled the one that Jimmy Wanjigi was in charge of at some point, during
the
it was at the airport.
Yeah,
during the first
we
term,
paid 5.7 billion.
We paid So that is very basic understanding, Jagero.
You've
So
not mentioned Mauri Roni.
Mauri Roni, when we
lost
cancelled
6 billion.
it, we also lost money. So cancelling of projects has always made us lose money. So I'm wondering, Jagero, seated where I'm seated, I'm wondering how 5 principals plus experts could not be able to get that basic fact.
Yeah.
Because it is something that is all out there for everyone to
I
see.
want to
how
stay,
do you imagine that
I
when
want
you
to
cancel,
stay,
you
I
make
want to
money?
stay with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming back to a word that I've underlined that you've talked about.
Yeah.
Populism.
Yeah.
That you've talked about. But I want to go back to Mr. Peter, Peter, and ask Mr. Peter.
Yes.
When you cancel SHA and retrieve the 1.4 billion,
Yeah.
104 billion, what happens to SHA?
You know, first of all, you should understand how SHA works.
Okay.
SHA receives money from Kenyans.
Yes.
And it is that money that is used in its operations.
Okay.
And if you look at SHA, it's an insurance, and insurances have got a pool of money.
Okay.
And in this pool of money is where they get they pay the claims from Kenyans, whether you're in hospital, such things.
Okay.
If we cancel this whole SHA infrastructure, and we become the ones that own the whole infrastructure,
How?
and take it, for example, if it's the contributions, they will be withheld with the government.
It is held by the
Because
government.
currently,
Okay.
SHA is not owned by the government.
Okay.
It is owned and operated by some other people whom we do not know. Let me say people.
But let's take 2 steps back.
Yes.
Why did we pay 104 billion? For what?
For the
Operationalization of it.
Yes.
So where are you going to nest it? Once you take it back,
Yes.
who is going to give you the infrastructure? How is the infrastructure going to work?
Because
the tech behind it.
It is the government that used to own the NHIF, the infrastructure. The whole NHIF infrastructure was owned by the government.
Okay.
And we'll take it back and belong to the people. Because one of the concerns also that we had with SHA, our data was being operated by people whom we do not know.
So
Okay.
Yes.
we simply go back to NHIF.
Yes.
Now, can I say something?
How is NHIF?
No. Can I say something?
Yes. 1 minute. Because
One
I want to
minute.
go back to Mundalo.
Yeah, Mundalo will have a field day today. All these 2 budgets.
Okay.
Why are we discussing?
No. I want to ask you about the 104 billion.
No, the 104 billion.
Yes, that's what I'm asking you. Because these people,
because
they are saying they are taking it back.
Yes. So now
Okay.
the issue is this: why did we move from NHIF
To SHA.
to SHA? Because we had pending bills
Okay.
of around 30 billion. 30 billion. We had allegations of paying non-existing hospitals, then efficiency of the system. So now going back means we are going back to pending bills of 30 billion. Sai vile tunaongea, SHA has pending bills of 49 billion.
49 or 41?
Around 49 or 41.
Yes.
So if we go back to SHA, to NHIF, do we now inherit the 30 billion pending bills, or how does it work? Because we are trying to rectify the mess William Ruto has created. That is why we are here.
Okay.
For me, I am trying to rectify. If Mondalo wants it to continue, it's okay. And he has a democratic right.
Yeah.
But I believe my brother here, who is a disciplinary expert, will
Okay.
tell us.
Okay.
The reason why we have a problem with SHA is because it has become an avenue of revenue leakage.
Okay.
The Auditor General just told us that we have lost 50 billion since its inception. So it is not something we want to continue with it. All right?
You are for cancelling it too?
Yes.
For just like Wiper?
Yes.
So then let me ask you. You are imagining that 104 billion has been paid out to somebody?
We are not looking for the 104 billion.
We are looking at, you are trying to stop the bleed.
My difference with my brother is that he wants to go back to NHIF.
You want to stop the bleed?
For us, we want to make healthcare a public funded expense.
Okay, good. I want to go back to Mundalo. Before I go to Mundalo, I want to pass by Mohammed. Mohammed, do you think that it would be prudent for us to cancel SHA altogether and recoup the 104 billion?
It cannot. It cannot. Why? Because you see, even this amount, the money that SHA is being used to operationalize.
Okay.
It's a money that comes from the citizen.
All
Okay.
right.
And you know, Jagero, there is one thing that we need to understand. If I get money from your pocket,
Okay.
the expectation is what interest am I getting, or what is the outcome I am supposed to receive from this money?
Okay.
Okay, because in today's economy, nobody can just give you money anyhowly. After all, there should be an outcome,
Okay.
and there is an interest.
Mm.
Okay, people now are saying that this SHA already is not working, and I'm actually talking about the alternative government, the proposal that they made.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I'm talking about.
I want you guys to queue for me on Masete because I'm going back to him. Then I go to Vasht and then I come back to Mundalo. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, and so what I'm saying is, if already the citizens are contributing to this SHA and it's not working, so how could you then remove and again expect it to operationalize and actually outsource money for the government?
All right, thank you very much. I want to go to Umas. What do you think? What do you think about the idea of because you are very excited about it when you are reading the numbers? Right?
I was just trying to bring Joaquim to line so that we can do the figures and calculate whether the alternative budget will help Kenya.
But what do you think about the idea of actually scrapping SHA altogether? Do you want it to go back to NHIF? Do you want us just to recoup the 104 billion? What is the idea here? What do you want?
For me, the biggest question in the room is we must ask ourselves.
Okay.
If we were to revert back to NHIF and we take a look at the problems facing NHIF and we compare with the problems that SHA has,
okay,
where will majority of Kenyans want to be? Is it SHA or is it NHIF? And I want to give an example. Regardless of, some will say SHA works, others say it doesn't work, that is okay. But my example is when you compare SHA to NHIF, because I want to center my argument on if people being treated very well when they have SHA or during the time of NHIF, they were well treated. The difference between SHA and NHIF when I try to compare is that in NHIF, your money could be depleted when treatment is ongoing. But for SHA, when you are undergoing a treatment,
okay,
and your money is depleted, you still have some space to continue with your treatment.
All right.
Now, when we say that the alternative budget is proposing that we have to scrap away SHA and go back to NHIF, the question that begs, even though we'll save 104 billion,
okay,
the kind of problems that we'll face when we revert back to NHIF, are they any better compared to the problems that we are facing when we have SHA as of now?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Vash, what do you think about the scrapping? You can talk a little bit about their idea, because when Joaquim was talking, you are very exasperated and very frustrated because you are thinking everybody doesn't want everything. What do you want?
I think whenever we are talking about these issues, especially SHA, the United Opposition said they are going to cancel the contract.
Okay.
And we have to first understand what was the philosophy or the idea behind SHA.
Okay.
When Ruto came into government, he said that he wanted equity for people. And so SHA was created so that we na equitable things for everyone. NHIF was there, but it was not as equitable as SHA is. When NHIF was operating, only people who had a pay slip were the one who were contributing to NHIF. Mtu wa boda boda hakuwa anaweza contribute.
Okay.
Or most of them were not. Most of them were not doing. No, most of them were not doing.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, most
yes.
of them. Why you have to say most of them?
Yeah.
And SHA imeleta hiyo equity. So tukisema tu we are just going to scrap all of it and go back to NHIF. It is not. It doesn't make sense. And as Mundalo has said, NHIF had pending bills. It was almost bankrupt. What do we mean by doing this? Alafu, when we're talking about technology, cancelling the technology, what do we mean by the technology? Just the other day we were talking about the mean testing technology. If we are honest people and we want goodness for our people, tutasema, let's go and see the algorithm of this thing. Iko na shida. It is making so many people pay above their means. So what can we do about it? To change, but just saying that we're just going to cancel the contract. So do we mean that we are going to make people make lines instead of the digital thing that we have, or what do we mean?
All right. I want to go back to Mundalo. Mundalo, there is something that you've said that I underline called populism.
Yeah.
And I just want to understand, and I will also ask Joachim about the same issue, because when you talk about the alternative budget that Wiper party headed by Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka is proposing to Kenyans, you say that it's a populist idea. Do you think it is dangerous to the fact that they are perhaps saying something that they will not do, or they have no idea of how to do? So the idea is that, okay, everybody is talking in the room, I also need to raise my hand and talk.
Yeah.
The government is trying to read a budget, we also need to read a budget. So what do you think, that this is what is going on, or Wiper Party is really serious about what they want to do?
This is the reality, Jagero. Yourself, Joachim, myself, Odhiambo and a few others have come here many times.
Okay.
And one of the constant factors that we've kept discussing is that the alternative government and the opposition of Kenya has no tangible deliverables that they want to do to the country. Now, this has been able to weigh down on them. And now they are being reactive. They are feeling like Kenyans are saying we are not offering any solution. So I think they met somewhere in a boardroom and said, why can't we be able to structure something that looks like a solution, at least so that this conversation can be able to die down.
Okay.
So for me, first of all, what they came up with is a reactional response anchored more on populism. Populism, Jagero, is whereby you say something that you do not necessarily intend to believe in, but if it can get you the vote, then that's okay. And that's why you look at it, they are talking a lot about such things like SHA, for instance, that we are all talking about. But the party leader of my brother there wrote a letter to SHA to request for increased package. The same thing was able, that request was actually made. And no, up to today, they have not been able to descend it and say that we didn't, because it's easy. Media communication, when it comes out and it's fake, it will be stamped. We will be able to
it was pronounced to be fake.
Yes.
It can't be pronounced, and you are the only one who knows it, and you also come from Wiper. So can I be able to proceed?
Yes.
Silently.
Yes.
So that's why I'm talking to you.
I will give you an opportunity for sure.
I'm telling you, they are called populist ideas.
Okay.
The universal healthcare as a concept is a Vision 2030 idea. It is in the Vision 2030. So first of all, it is not that President William Ruto came up with the universal healthcare concept. It is something that started then. Progressive administrations, including the previous administration, tried to implement these and failed and moved away from it.
Okay.
So President William Ruto comes and says we must be able to implement it. And that is how SHA comes in. Now, the conversation should not be that SHA or NHIF is better than SHA. Because the reality is that all of us would be able to know, anyone seated anywhere knows that SHA is much better than NHIF. Because first of all, SHA...
Because it was expanded.
Because SHA was expanded. Whereas NHIF was only talking about primary health care. This one talks about the primary health care. It talks about the chronic illnesses and emergency treatment and all that. So first of all, in its concept alone, SHA is way expanded. It does not just, when you look at even access, NHIF, you could only access it. You would pay today, Jagero, and then you can only start getting treatment 3 months later, or is it 6 months later? And when you failed to pay for 1 month, then you had to suspend your sickness and again wait for another 3 months before you can then use NHIF again. And more often than not, it would only cover your bed and nothing more. Today, Jagero, you get sick today, you pay for your SHA today, and SHA is able to actually cover you from today. And that is the reality. So we cannot be able to actually even talk about that comparison. Two, SHA today is talking about the community, it's talking about the hospitals. How do our hospitals even look? So it does not just stop at being simplistic from the face value. The real conversation should be that does the implementation of SHA match the ambition in SHA? Because the ambition in SHA is wide, but the implementation has not gotten to where it needs to be. So somebody coming up as an alternative should be able to show us how they will be able to ensure that SHA meets the ambition that it needs to.
Okay.
For instance, is it true that it's having some funding challenges? It's true. Yeah? Is it true that we have Kenyans who have actually onboarded on SHA, but they are not paying their premiums? It's true. How will you then make them pay those premiums? Is it true that now most of we have budget like what the hospitals need vis-a-vis what SHA can provide? There is always a disparity there. That is true. But now that is the implementation framework of it. So any serious alternative will be able to be telling us how are you going to mitigate that. You cannot be able to face Kenyans and now tell them that you are going to move them away from universal healthcare and take them back to NHIF. NHIF was here, Jagero, and we were all complaining about NHIF. NHIF was here, and NHIF had a lot of bills that they had not sorted. You could remember when SHA was coming in, one of the challenges they had was that onboarding the debt that NHIF had already incurred in the hospitals. So alternatives are about solutions that are progressive. But when you are simplistic and when you want to be populist, you come up with such flimsy things that cannot actually hold water. And that's why everyone is asking the questions, where are you getting the money and all that. When you come up with things like 80 billion that I've talked about, that you're going to fund youth employment, the question is, youth employment is not just created by money. So what exactly, how many jobs, where, how is it going to be done? Those are the realities of now the implementation framework. And that is where the opposition now more or less fails on that. And I think even the media, when I looked at when the media was covering that, I felt the media also did not get exactly what alternatives were being offered. And that's why you listen to most of the media coverage. They covered more what they said after the main press conference than what was actually in the press. So it was more about the other off-cuff conversations.
Do you think that the media sort of decided that, no, we are not interested, you are lying to Kenyans, so we are not going to talk about it?
I don't think so. I do not think so.
Okay, but
I think they just failed to have the reality of the talking
I want to get back to Mundalo. Mundalo, to this gentleman, Joaquim. Your brothers and sisters in opposition are trying to tiptoe around exactly what they want to do. Okay? But for me, when you hear the opposition talking about the alternative, it looks like they are in the same crossroad where the government is. And they are only telling you that, look, this thing looks all the same. All we can do is to try and get another 500 billion to deal with it. And every now and again we talk about debt, it looks like the country has got very little wiggle room to get out of this thing. The gentleman from Wiper said that there is the practicality of dealing with debt is that we just have to pay it. But in fact, the person that I've heard from the United Opposition that has talked elaborately about debt is actually Fanyamambo, and you were sparring with him on this same podcast. He talked about having conversations. Mr. Peter, yes. When you are next to Kalonzo Musyoka, you are taking tea and mandazi. What? don't worry about me.
Yes, of course, he's a very open person. Even you can take mandazi.
Yes. I did with Maraga.
Yes.
I took tea and mandazi with Maraga the other day. Yeah, and it was really nice mandazi. Yeah, wheat nonetheless. But what does your party leader say about debt exactly?
Okay.
That we have to pay.
We will have to pay the debts.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think that's enough. I think that's enough.
These debts.
You want to add? Yes.
These debts were taken for the interest of the country.
Okay.
How we use the debts is the problem.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
something that
which means
if
my brother here represents the views of the Wiper Patriotic Front, then I am afraid we are very wrong, my friend. The reason why we are adamant that the problem of the country is debt is this. It is the biggest on our expenditure item. It has voluptuously grown in the last 13 years. So we are trying to trace our problems. Now that we have 13 trillion in debt, official debt, with 3% of the same in debt of the book, which pushes it to around 17 trillion in just 13 years. And in the same period of time, we have paid 10.2 trillion. which means that in 13 years, we have been able to borrow how much? 27.2, which is the total debt that we have had. In our laws, what's the reason why we should borrow? Development only. So if we have such a very big debt, then we should be able to see it in our economy in terms of projects, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of tech, in terms of agriculture, in terms of innovation. Because those are the problems and the only reasons why a country should think of borrowing. When I tell you the problem is debt, that debt itself is not a problem. The problem is, how did we get it? How did we get here? What is our stipulated principle of borrowing? When you go to Mundalo, let's say he represents IMF, to borrow 200 billion, what are you borrowing for? You should be able to say, I am borrowing to build this particular project, to fund research. That is development. That has some plowback effect on the people. The debt we have, first of all, is not in our books. We can't find it. Secondly, Parliament didn't approve it, so it's not sovereign debt. Thirdly, we didn't do anything with it. So we have how many problems? 3. In our bank accounts, there is no statements that reflect us borrowing, which is why we are wondering, do we even have it? Because in our bank account, which is the only bank account for Kenyans, is consolidated fund. So every debt we have should have reflected on some debt entering in the bank account of the Kenyan people. That is not there. 2, there is no approval of the same by Parliament, which means in our Parliament vote heads, it does not exist. 3, it is not on our expenditure. We don't see it for anything. So it's not our debt. So anybody who is saying we must pay is saying we perpetuate illegality. And that is where the problem of Kenya is. Anybody who wants to be president, I am inviting them that once you are sworn in, the first shock of your life is the statement of fiscal problems that we have as a country. That's the first shock. Every problem Kenyans are crying about is money related. It doesn't matter which problem. If it's about roads, it's about drainage, it's about school, it's about health, it's about anything. It's money, security, it's money.
Can I ask you something, Joachim?
Yes.
Why is it that every time you talk about debt, you sound like you are mad?
I am mad because...
no, not angry.
Yes.
Mad.
Yes.
You have lost your senses. Because nobody else is talking about this thing. And ever ask Mundalo is completely mum and quiet about it.
I understand him.
What do you mean you understand
Let me tell you.
No.
Kidogo tu.
I've not finished asking you.
Yes, that's why I will invite you to. I will invite you to ask more. That, let's say, for example, let me pick the most famous project. And the reason why I get very angry about debt.
Okay.
So, the government has decided to build an SGR.
Okay.
SGR is valued at 500 billion. That's the total cost of the project. Now, the government of Kenya, to show that it is committed to this project, it is expected to fund 10% of the project, then acquire a loan of the rest from China Exim Bank. So 10% of 500 billion is 50 billion, right? So Exim Bank goes ahead and gives us how much? The rest, which is 450 billion, which we got in terms of a loan to build SGR. So Exchequer was supposed to allocate how much? The 10%, which is 50. Do you know how much he allocated?
No.
He allocated 650 billion to one project whose cost is 500. Now, when you put together the allocation of the exchequer plus the money obtained from China Exim Bank, 450 billion, it comes to 1.1 trillion. For a project of $500 million. To build SGR from Mombasa to Naivasha, to Duka Moja. So, we have two problems with this thing. That we did not have the need to borrow because our treasury had 650 billion to allocate to the project, which means we would have saved 150 because they allocated 650. Then we went ahead and borrowed. So the government simply stole what we had given in terms of taxes, which was already at the treasury, 650 billion, and again stole from us the future taxes by borrowing the 450 billion and eating it. So now, the biggest strain on our budgeting process is that we have to find some 2 trillion every year to pay debt, which was consumed by individuals, and it did not get to us. So, and again, in this budget that has been read by Mbadi today, he's talking about expenditure estimates. That's what we have talked about. 700 billion to education. I don't know how much is for agriculture and all that, and health. Now, he's not talking about where are we going to get the money from. Because in all these estimates, he must be able to tell us, we are going to raise taxes worth this much, which he has said 3.1 trillion, which we disagree, we will not get there. Then to borrow, debt estimate is 1.1 trillion, but out of it, how much of it is domestic?
He has not said that.
It's not there. The external one is explicitly highlighted, but the domestic one is quiet. It is not in the budget estimates. I came here. This document, tabled in Parliament, has no figures for domestic debt, even though it is on the table.
Why do you want it to be there?
Because we need to approve it, because it has to show up in the expenditure side for projects.
Okay.
So the reason why they have not put it there, the reason why they have not put it there,
okay,
is because they will borrow for recurrent expenditure, which is not.
Oh, okay. So if I hear you correctly,
yes,
the government is supposed to tell us, look, Kenyans, we are trying to get 600 billion from the local banks.
Yes.
And we are going to use it to do ABCD.
Yes.
But because they are going to use it to pay milk,
yes,
and honey,
yes,
probably a state house, they are not going to tell you that.
They cannot. That's
because you disagree.
Yes, but that's why it's quietly missing. And that's why the noise is about the finance bill. They want you to pay attention there, to talk about it so many times. But again, which means when we approve this document, which will be approved next week, we will have approved no domestic debt item. So any borrowing done in the next financial year.
Where is the law for this? Which law? Which law are you referring to?
So I mentioned to you the law last time. I told you Article 220.
220.
Which means that you have to highlight estimates of borrowing and liability that will increase public debt. Anything that will increase public debt must be in this document.
Okay.
And we are saying one of the things that will increase public debt is domestic borrowing, which is not here. So when we borrow 200 billion from NCBA next year, it will be illegal borrowing. Because this is the document that Parliament will approve.
Okay. I want to give an opportunity to Mr. Masete.
Yes.
Mr. Masete, as I talked with Mundalo, every time Safina Party and Joachim talks about this debt issue, they look like madmen in the streets. Like nobody's understanding what they're saying. And some, in a very interesting way, people always ignore. And I want to ask you, Masete, do you understand what Safina Party is talking about?
Do you know, Jagero, if going to heaven required one to understand Kenya's debt, Joaquim will be next to Raila Odinga. and you know, the other day, I was sitting with him outside there.
Okay.
In a very premium hotel.
Okay.
And I asked him, Joaquim, when you're in Mombasa, there's an old mzee who asked you a very simple question.
Okay.
And I want to cede my time to ask that question on behalf of that old mzee once again, so that the SG can reach out to the party leader and tell us what they'll do about it.
Okay.
And Mzee was saying, Joaquim, we agree that is an issue in our country. And when you say the solution, the best solution that you present as Safina Party is not paying the debt, but the Mzee actually asked a question and said, Joaquim, it's fine, you're not going to pay the debt. But according to the Mzee, in his understanding is that the debt were taken using government property as collateral. So when you're saying you're not going to pay those debts, what happens to those, government institutions?
Even as he answers that, because that's not actually what I asked you. But he's going to answer that question. The question I'm asking you is, Omasete, do you think that Kenya took debt to do projects? Ama the money was taken and somebody ate it? What is your thinking as a citizen? Also as a journalist, because you're a journalist. So what exactly, have you dug deep into it and realized what really happened in this debt? Because I also have an issue, because although Mr. Joaquim keeps talking about debt that was taken yesterday, but even today we have another debt of 1.1 trillion that we are talking about. We also have another debt that is coming next year, perhaps, of probably another 900 billion. What is your thinking around this debt? Wachana na huyu mzee wa Mombasa kwanza. Yes.
You see, Jagero, in each financial year, if the pending bill continues to grow every year, it means that you will be forced, either as a county government or a national government, to borrow more so that you can service, all the expenditures in that particular year.
Okay.
So when it comes to what Joaquim speaks about debt, I believe that there is something referred to as budgeted corruption, where there is inflation of projects, there is inflation of things that government institutions buy to use in different ministries, and that is what leads to acquiring odious debt, leading to inflation and making life very difficult for Kenyans, and even the CS Treasury. In fact, I ask myself, how does the president breathe day and night, keeping in mind he has a very serious problem about debt, yet he appears like nothing is happening behind the scenes?
Okay.
Yes.
But I don't know, Mundaro, did you hear him answer the question of yes?
You see, Jagero, I even wonder why you said I've kept quiet about this debt conversation, because I think the last time I was here, we were discussing this debt concept. And what came out clearly, I told you about the debt. And you remember that I said that one thing we all agree is that debt is a major problem in Kenya.
Okay.
But my point of divergence with the Safina is their formula of dealing with it. Because one, it is quite simplistic. You remember that one?
Yes.
And I said that in itself, because the odious debt phenomenon in itself started somewhere. And we have been able to come this far, and we cannot pinpoint success stories of a country that has successfully not paid that.
Okay.
I gave you two examples and told you the only two that I know of is Cuba and Iraq. And in both circumstances, it was because one of the Cuba-American War. And that's why after Spain was able to get out of Cuba, the Americans were able to negotiate. And that is how the debt was taken back to Spain. Iraq was about Saddam Hussein, and that when he left, because he had been branded a terrorist, there was a negotiation to allow them not to pay fully. From then onwards, especially African countries and others, we do not have examples of how this has been canvassed. And when I challenged that, you remember him telling us that South Africa had that at the apartheid regime. And you are the one who read there and discovered that it was not true. Because even at the apartheid regime, when they came, after the apartheid, when Nelson Mandela took over, they still were able to negotiate the debt, but still the debt was paid. So it is the truth that it is a problem. But their formula is what I call simplistic, and sometimes it can sound like they know very much, but the truth is when you dig deep, you realize it is actually nothing they're actually talking about. Let me give you an example, Jagero. he talks about the aspect of lack of some estimates that make the entire process illegal. You and me know that Kenya is a highly litigious country, extremely litigious. We are in court every day for everything. So you cannot tell me that there is this thing that has been able to skip. And if anything, then they would as well go to court if it is an illegality that is being committed. What has always happened in Kenya, Jagero, is that whereas we are supposed to borrow for development, what government has always done is to create things called acts of parliament to canvass and meander around the law so that they can still do what is not necessarily the right thing, but the legal thing. It is extremely difficult to actually do an illegal thing in the country. Two, this concept of odious debt that they say that will audit and then will just not pay. I told you it's not supported by international law. And even in the Kenyan law, there is nothing of that sort called odious debt. So for them to be able to execute it is more than just the explanations that they are giving. And you read it, and I remember I challenged him to quote the constitutional provision that provides for that. And he couldn't, and you went through it, and it was not there. So the truth is, we all agree that it's a problem. The debt issue is actually a problem. But the solution, whereas it is something that we need to canvass, we need to dig deeper into the solution. Because, Jagero, if debt was as simple as just waking up, auditing, and not paying, no country would have paid. All African countries today, they are struggling with the same problem.
I want to ask a follow-up question before Joachim jumps in.
Yeah.
And there are two.
Yeah.
Number one is that there are obviously some problems with the government.
Yeah.
That if you are going to be borrowing, you can't borrow to buy tea and honey at State House.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But it looks like the government is not telling us that how much they're going to borrow locally, so that when they borrow, you can't actually pin them down.
Yeah.
But the other question I want to ask you, you have said that you want to be the senator in Bungoma, correct? Busia or Bungoma? Bungoma,
yeah.
Okay. And you have also said that you want to be president in 2032.
I didn't say the year, but yes, I'll want to be
No, you
president.
told me.
Okay.
No, you told me.
It's a good prayer.
Yes, it's a good prayer.
Yeah, so it's okay.
And it is just 10 years away.
Yeah.
All right? It's just 10 years away.
Yeah.
And being senator is not far away from being a president. It's not a long distance.
Yeah. It's one time.
And this thing is gonna perhaps catch up with you.
Yes.
At some point.
Yeah.
And to be honest to yourself and to the people that watch you, especially young people like Vash that is there.
Yeah.
How do you, if you were to be given an opportunity to do an alternative budget?
Yes.
Just about now.
Yes.
How do you deal with it? How do you in your head when you sleep, how are you dealing with this issue of our budget?
Yeah.
To the extent that we don't have a lot of money that is going to payment.
Great. First of all, Jagero, as a country, we need an audit of everywhere that we take our money.
Okay.
Because most of the problem that we have is in pilferage.
Okay.
There was a time, Jagero, that someone gave I don't remember that report, where we said there are schools that receive capitation and they don't exist. Yeah? We had that. We have teachers that receive salary, but they don't exist. So first of all, before we even talk about we have this huge budget that we need as a country,
okay,
the first thing I would want to look at is what exactly do we actually need as a country?
Okay.
Because I want to believe that we might be able to even save more than a quarter of what we actually do just by that audit alone. There are a lot of budget lines in Kenya that sometimes you look at and they are extremely frivolous. Yeah. For instance, when you look at our payroll, can we start with the payroll in Kenya?
Yes.
Before I go into borrowing and all these things and all that, whatever, I'll just want to look at what we have today. Do we need it all?
Okay.
How many teachers do we have?
Okay.
Is the number at TSC the practical number on the ground? How many civil servants do we have, Jagero? Is the number in the book the same as the number on the ground? How many schools do we have? How many chiefs do we have? How many DOs do we have? How many of these people actually exist, first of all? And number two, I'll want to go to every parastatal and agency of government.
Okay.
We give agencies of government, and we are always having one problem, Jagero. Everyone keeps saying the money is not enough, but they never tell us because they were doing what.
Yes.
Yeah? No one tells us what they were doing, but they just keep telling us money is not enough. Let me give you a case study of the Teachers Service Commission.
Okay.
The Teachers Service Commission requested, and Joachim is usually better with these numbers,
Yes.
so in case I'm wrong, we'll confirm with Joachim.
Yeah.
There was a 1.2 billion request
Okay.
that TSC gave. I think was it in the last financial year or something. But they received only 700. Essentially, your interpretation would be that they received less than they needed.
Okay.
But by the end of the financial year, they had only spent 600. So then the question becomes, did you really need 1.2? Because if you were given less than you needed, but you have finished the year and you have a balance to give, so there can only be one thing. Either you requested too much or something close to that.
Okay.
So first of all, these parastatals, we are always talking about, you remember when we were talking about the IEBC, for instance. All of us are always outside here saying, give IEBC enough money. Okay? And after we give them whatever the amount we give them, the next thing will always be that they have not received enough money. But the issue is, we never ask, okay, to do what exactly? There was a case in point of, was it lunch?
Yes.
Was it lunch?
Yes,
or
the
was it-
IBC official was very unhappy with that question.
With the question on lunch. Was
Yes.
it lunch or
he
dinner?
was,
1 billion.
He was very angry.
He was annoyed with that
I
question.
was there and he got very angry.
And those are the realities.
And I quarreled with him a lot.
Yeah, go ahead.
And those are the realities. So that's what I'm telling you. First things first is we need a thorough audit as a country in every place that we put our money. Because some places that we actually put our money, we just put it there so that someone takes it. Before we complain that it's not enough, can we first start with the one that we already have, this one? Are we having prudent use of it? The parastatals that we are having left, right, center. You know how much money these parastatals receive, Jagger? You know, Kenya, we talk about big monies like they are nothing. 300 million, 400 until we are so used to these figures.
Yeah.
Yeah? But then the question is, when this parastatal has received 300 million, do we follow through to then ask, okay, fine, what exactly was it for?
What are the activities?
What are the activities? What are the deliverables? When our people, when we are talking about government workers have gone to Naivasha for 2 weeks, and they have come from an office in Nairobi, and then they have gone to Naivasha for 2 weeks to discuss something that could have been discussed in the boardroom. Can we be able to start interrogating that and realizing exactly what is this? We'll talk about the trips that we have, that we are going abroad. Can we reduce the trips to essentially the functional trips? Not trips that we can do without. Trips that, can we reduce them to ensure that everything that is being done, that we can account for it? So for me, the first thing is about an audit. Because I believe that most of the money is Jagero that we keep spending outside here in government. We have a lot of money that sometimes is spent, it's in the budget line, but probably we actually do not need it. How many workers are, like I told you, we had a situation where schools in it themselves, we had schools that don't exist, but they have been receiving capitation. The question is, how long have they been receiving that capitation? They might have been receiving the capitation since 1974. So you can imagine how much then we will have lost in that. Remember, Jagero, when Simba Arati came into office as governor of Kisii, and he said every driver should stand next to the car that he drives.
Yes.
Yeah?
I remember that one.
You remember that one? And over half of the drivers could not find the car they drive.
Some of them didn't have driving licenses.
Some of them didn't have driving license. And actually, some of them didn't know that they are drivers in the county.
Some of them didn't know they are drivers.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them didn't know that they are drivers. They just know they receive a salary. So these are the realities of our country. So before we even talk about, Jagero, the fact that, our money is not enough, we are always struggling. But first, can we audit
So, Jagger,
how much do we need to spend?
You realize that in his alternative budget, debt is not a problem.
Yeah.
And I want to explain why dealing with debt is not an easy thing, not for everyone. Not in this country, not any African country. Because
But I don't think that is entirely what he said.
No.
Because
Yes.
when he says that he's going to audit the things where he's going to spend money, it means that at the end of the day he might not need 1.1 trillion borrow.
Exactly.
No,
That's
I
exactly what
I
it
am
meant.
saying this.
But you see, for
Today,
because Joachim must feel it his way, kindly allow him.
If even if we were saying we are not going to borrow the 1.1 trillion in this budget, we still have 2.1 to pay in the coming year. So it's still a problem. The problem is not how to borrow. The problem is we are paying. So my problem is this, and I was explaining to you.
But Mr. Mundalo, you are not going to interrogate any of these debts. Try to recover a little. Some money here and there.
Why are you squeezing out to produce water?
I answered your question as you put it. You know, Jagero, this with me and Joachim is that I answer the question that is asked, not the one that I imagine in my head. That is the difference. So, part of what you do with that debt that has even been done, it's proved and tried and tested, is to negotiate the debt. So that at the end of the day, I'm able to say, guys, look here, can we have a reframing? Can we restructure this? So that at the end of the day, we are able to have terms that are more favorable. And as I try to squeeze out what is unnecessary in government, we can then have more to pay and therefore have less time to deal with it.
But then the other question is, for the people who cutted away some of the monies that came into the country, do you think that it is fair to say, look, Bwana, you took some money from us. Are you going to bring some back? Are you able to, as Kenyans, can we able to ask that question?
It is a question that should be asked to Jagero. But I live in political reality and not political populism, unfortunately. Because populism is to say, Jagero, that I'll go after everyone that took our debt. But the truth, and that will get me votes. And that will get me applause. But when I get to implementation, then there will be teething problems. Why? Because most of these, I've told you, in Kenya, you cannot cut around the law. You cannot be able to say that it was completely illegal. Most of what these people do is that they create acts of parliament. So when you get into office, you will get an act of parliament, a provision that was created to create that fund, and that is how that money came in. So now, it becomes convoluted. So when you choose to spend your time dealing with that, you'll spend 5 years struggling with that when you can actually have other alternatives.
I want to start with acts of parliament.
I don't argue on populism principles.
Fair enough.
Mr. Joachim. Acts of parliament. Which means my brother is saying everything we've been saying all this time. That the genesis to this problem was actually an act of parliament.
So it was legal.
So the people amended Public Finance Management Act, Section C and D, which in the beginning was that borrowed money should always, because borrowed money is a government revenue, and the government has only one account, the consolidated fund, that when you borrow, you take the money to the consolidated fund. But these people became clever very suddenly. And then they amended that section. And they said, it is not necessary that you take the money to the consolidated fund, that you can come up with a special account, even overseas. So that money, the first Eurobond was from JP Morgan and Chase. It was taken to Dubai. And 650 billion was taken to pay some pending bills on government projects. And it was approved that that actually happened, 650 billion. But the other half of the loot did not show where it went. Now, this is where we have a problem. That you cannot amend the constitution with a statute law. An act of parliament cannot amend the constitution, because we have articles amendment to the constitution which should be done by a popular initiative. That today, when we decide that this section of the constitution is not serving our purpose, it is for the people to decide that, look, it is not necessary for money to come to the consolidated fund, but to go elsewhere deemed necessary. So the statute law created by your brother Aden Duale.
So this is an allegation. How sure are you it's my brother?
No,
he's just saying he's a mother from a brother from another mother.
In this family,
another from
everyone is a brother.
Okay.
And I have called him your brother.
Then you will permit me to also call you a brother Tumbadi.
Yeah, we are.
No, he says Musani.
But yes, Musalia is also my brother.
Okay.
So, by that alone, you establish that there was a meticulous plan to circumvent the law. Now, the biggest problem in the House is that we have a problem that keeps becoming big every day. As we discuss here, and the Vash says, I am opposing everything, and you are wondering the simplistic approach we have towards it. It's estimated that every day we are borrowing 5 billion. The other day, the Nation in Aitwaje Gazette, the Star, reported that government is borrowing to pay allowances and wages. Which means that mwezi inaisha, serikali haina 8 billion. But people are waiting for their bank statements to say credited. So they borrow to pay salaries. That necessitates domestic borrowing that has been put off the book. Because if it's put here that we are going to borrow to pay salaries, then we will be like, no. That's not legal.
Okay.
But when it's not there, it can happen.
Okay.
So our approach to this issue, and my brother has said you renegotiate. So let's try to use that as a Can
I give you 1 minute?
Yes.
1 minute is fine, because I want to ask the people of the internet to call in, so that we can hear from them. People of the internet, please, if you can call through the normal line, that would be fantastic, because it's usually very clear. WhatsApp kidogo inatusumbua.
Yes. I have a contribution.
Yes, but let this gentleman finish.
So let's say we want to get out of this conundrum.
Okay.
By renegotiating.
Okay.
So next year we are going to need 2 trillion to pay, all right? With the 1.1 to borrow. So you renegotiate the 2 trillion to pay, and they say, okay, you can pay next 2029 around there, and you borrow 1.1. So before you know it, it is July next year again. You have another 2.2 to pay. So you renegotiate that one. What we will be doing is postponing a problem. It's like sweeping your house and putting the dirt under the carpet. So the first few days the house will look clean. This guy is a very clean guy. But at some point you will have to remove that carpet. Most probably throw it away and wash the house. Once we were established, because the example I gave you here is that even in this document alone, is that all the debt domestically that we are going to borrow next year is illegal. The people lending to government are our banks, all right? And I have seen here comments saying that our banks will crash when we don't pay them. Now, how do banks make money? By lending to Kenyans.
By selling money.
How do banks, where do they get money from to lend? From the savings of the people, all right? Now, when a bank is lending money to government, the onus of doing due diligence is on them. The onus of doing due diligence. That every borrowing is accompanied by a vote head. So a bank that is lending 200 billion to Treasury, and there is no domestic loan estimates in our budget, isn't that an illegality?
Jagero, you see, most of this sounds very...
Karibu na mic.
It sounds very intelligent, Jagero, until you interrogate. Let me, first of all, The mere fact that Joachim, his party leader, and his party cannot go to court on these issues shows you that they know that they can't win in court.
Okay.
So they know that it is more easy to speak and say illegal here on this podcast. But the practical element is that we have a working law, we have a Kenyan law that throughout the BBI at some point, which was a project of the president. If it holds legal gravitas, you take it to court. Because what we are doing now, Jagero, is that we are having argument on the basis of law and interpretation. Now, when it becomes law and interpretation, it becomes like the conversation that was happening on JKL between Harvey and the other two lawyers. And all of them sounded intelligent while saying different things. So that's why it's taken to a court of law. So the issue is, first things first, is that the element of odious debt in itself is not something that is recognizable within the Kenyan law. Number two, it's not recognized under international law. Number three, there is no example of success that has happened before. And that is not to say they can't succeed, Jagero, because sometimes you interpret me that way. I don't mean that they can't succeed, but I just mean to say that it is the formula of success that they are ascribing to is wrong in the first place. It falls flat-footed. He's told us here himself that there is an example of South Africa, which were able to all confirm. So, whereas debt is a fundamental problem, we all agree, they must be able to then look for another prescription of a solution. Merely saying that we will not pay is simplistic and populist, which cannot actually be able to stand the test of time.
Thank you, thank you. People of the internet, you can give us, you can call us on the number that is on the screen. And as we wait for those calls to come in, I'm going to be giving an opportunity to Mr. Mohammed, who has got some burning issues. So please, you can start calling us now. It would be nice for you guys to talk to us about the issue of debt, the issue of budget, the issue of where we are putting our money and where we're taking our money as a country.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much, Jagero. And I must say that Joachim is a concerned citizen for this nation. That's why I've been listening, keenly listening today, dispensing a lot of knowledge about the odious debt and all that. And one thing we need to understand is that government cannot be judged by what it collects, but rather, does it deliver the results? Again, remember, Kenya is on a journey to Singapore. And for a country to develop, it cannot be stopped just because development is expensive. Again, that one is impossible. Now, the question here is, there is money that is borrowed, there is money that is collected, there is this money that is being funded to the government by development partners, the World Bank, IMF, and all that. Now, the question is, does it deliver what is expected? Like today, I was listening to CS Mbadi. It was promise after promise. And when you look at some of the sectors, a good example is the security sector. If you read some of the report that is being published by the National Crime Research Center, you will wonder, where does this money goes to? And in the security, again, we have the triage, we have the land, we have the water, and we have the air. And a good example, there is a lot of money that is pumped into the security sector. If today, and may God forbid, but if today Kenya experiences a missile, let's say from Iran, does it have the capabilities with all the money that is being pumped to come to the education sector? Whereby we are hearing today that there are some schools, if you shower today, so the next time you are going to shower is 10 days after that. So the question here is, the amount of money that is collected, the amount of money that is borrowed, the amount of money that is received from development partners, does it equate to the development agendas that the government have? That is now what will build confidence in the citizens, in that if the citizens see the money that is being collected from them is going to somewhere that is tangible, I think it will actually give them a hope, and that is what creates opportunity for the country.
All right, there is a caller on the line. Hello? Do that thing so that we can hear the guy. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, how are you doing? What is your name and where are you calling us from, sir?
My name is Ernest. I'm calling from Nairobi.
So
now, I want us to be factual when we look at these things. So Joachim says that the budget doesn't local borrowing versus foreign borrowing.
Okay.
If you look for a document called the Budget Policy Statement, Budget Review and Outlook paper, it states very clearly, you can see there's fiscal deficit, there's net foreign financing, which is external borrowing, there's net domestic financing, which is internal borrowing, domestic borrowing.
Okay.
And the figures are there, they are very clear.
What are the figures? What are the figures?
996 billion for domestic borrowing. External borrowing.
Because okay, go ahead.
External borrowing 100 to 146 billion. So the figures are there. It is clearly.
But the 995 billion is actually money that has been borrowed that needs to be paid. Is it the one that you really intend to borrow?
No, this is the deficit. We have a deficit of 1.1 trillion.
Okay.
That's the deficit. So now, the BPS,
okay,
which is the Budget Policy Statement,
okay,
or if you look at the Budget Review and Outlook paper, it states there very clearly that the deficit is 1.1 trillion. How they are going to finance that 1.1 trillion? It's 1.11 actually.
Yes.
So external borrowing will total between 100 and 146 billion.
Okay.
Domestic borrowing will total between 996 to 1 trillion. That is what it says. So when we say that it's not included in that paper, therefore illegal, I don't think we are being honest. And we should be honest.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, go ahead.
The reason why it shows up on the budget policy statement from the Treasury and not from the estimates in the Parliament is because Treasury has figures that has not been approved. Because the budget policy statement
but the document you're looking at hasn't been approved
on the estimates of revenue. If the estimates of revenue have those figures missing, then the figures you are seeing on the budget policy statement have not been approved. So the 900 billion we are going to borrow will be minus the approval of Parliament. That's my bone of contention. It should show up on this document.
No.
That when Parliament is voting for that particular vote head, we know what we are borrowing for. So the budget policy statement does not tell you what the 900 billion will be doing, because we must see it on the expenditure side of our budget. What will the 900 billion be doing when we have a development budget of 700 billion?
The question I want to ask the caller, what I want to ask him is, he's talked about a document that contains this. It's a policy statement.
Yes.
To whom, who is supposed to be concerned about it? Where is it supposed to?
That's a statement from the Treasury.
To who?
That is what they publish.
So they publish it, but they don't send it to Parliament.
1 month after tabling this document, that's when they publish a budget policy statement. So when they publish a budget policy statement, they have the figures. But when they are tabling the estimates,
when they're asking for the government for approval,
they have no figures. So it's not that I'm being dishonest.
That's not accurate.
I'm telling you that the two documents are different.
Okay, can you respond to that? Why is the policy statement published later on?
That is not accurate. There's no way you can say that I have access to the budget policy statement and the Parliament does not have. It doesn't make sense. Just by common sense, it doesn't make sense. You can't say that. That is not accurate, and that's what I'm saying.
Here.
Let us be factual.
No, on this document, Jagero, I want you to look at this document.
Yes, because I also
he's using common sense, and it's not common in this discussion.
Okay.
So we are looking here on this table of contents.
Okay.
This is the document tabled in Parliament, received by the majority leader, Kimani Ichung'wah.
Okay.
When you are approving numbers, you approve numbers on this document. Now, page 24, it has net domestic borrowing. Do you see it here?
Yes.
Now, when you go to the particular page of 24, to look at what are the numbers we are approving, the numbers are conspicuously missing. So the budget policy statement is not from Parliament. It is what has been generated by the Treasury. So the Treasury, the question we are asking them is where are they getting the numbers? Because now, this is where we say domestic loans on page 24. It has a code 331000 with missing figures everywhere.
So the question I want to ask the caller is, do you suppose that then the Parliament should go and download it from wherever Treasury has published it in order for them to see it?
No, what you could do, Jagero,
yes.
ask your parliamentarian whether they have access to those documents.
So are you agreeing that we do not have those figures in this document?
All right, I think that is fair enough.
Let me ask him, do you agree that they are not here?
All right.
The documents are there.
Okay.
Lugu, we've been around for quite some time.
Wait, Mundalo. Tafadhali.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
No. Hello, how are you doing? What's your name?
Okay.
The studio is hot.
Good evening.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name here is Amos.
Okay.
Mwangangi.
Okay.
Yes, from Mombasa. I'm calling to, you see, Jagero, the problem with our country is one.
Okay.
We've got people who knows everything.
Okay.
The only thing which is affecting our country right now as we speak is debt.
Okay.
If Kenya, or else if our country can depend on itself, our country has got everything that we need to depend on ourselves. Yes, we don't say that it is not good to borrow. It's good to borrow because there is no country which runs its economy without borrowing.
Okay.
But what we are doing, we are over-borrowing. That over-borrowing is leaving Kenyans, is leaving us, our country. People are living in a very poor life, in a very pathetic life.
Okay.
So, if we can elect leaders who knows, who can know what Kenya as a country, what we can raise, and use that what we can raise properly, I think as a country we can move forward. We can move forward as a country without yes.
But Mr. Mundalo, something very interesting with this country. You look at these numbers, it's very interesting that per the House Public Debt and Privatization Committee chaired by Abdi Shurie, consolidated fund services take about 2.56 trillion of the 4.8 trillion budget, with public debt service at 2.31 trillion, 90% over CFC. But it's something interesting that I don't know in which world I am living in, but we are actually paying interest worth 1.25 trillion. Interest.
Yeah.
Yani kuna watu hii dunia inafanyanga biashara gani?
The first charge on the consolidated fund is interest on loans. So, like for example, I want to show you the statement here, dated 3rd of June 2026.
Okay.
So this is one of the documents my brother was talking about. And when you look at it, you see that it has domestic borrowing numbers or original estimates of the year. Let me tell you the year so that you can know. Statements of actual revenue and net exchequer issues as at 27th February 2026. So that statement, this is a bank statement that is issued monthly from the Treasury to show us the physical status of the country.
Okay.
So it has a domestic borrowing, not one with numbers, which means original estimates was estimated at 1.98 trillion. Actual receipts, now, these are estimates and what the government received. The government received 870 billion.
From Kenya?
This is domestic borrowing.
From Kenya?
Yes, from Kenya.
When? Which year?
This is 2026, statement of 27th February. So the government, by then, it had borrowed 870 billion, 113 million, 482,133 shillings.
There's a
This
call on
is
the line.
internally.
Yeah. Can we listen to him?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, how are you doing? What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Ahmed. I'm from Tanzania.
Okay, which part of Tanzania?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Hey, internet to go Tanzania, bala, but there are so many.
Kwasulu. So can I tell you
Yes.
where the figures are missing?
No, but we are getting.
Can we also respond?
Yes. Let me welcome this call and then I go to Mundalo. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling us from? Hello, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, can we can hear him a little bit? Can you the volume?
You hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying this. I think I would agree with Mundalo.
Okay.
Because the problem we have, first, is the spending of the government.
Okay. We lost him. Mundalo, go ahead.
Thank you. You know, Jagero, there is one thing we all agree on, and that is the fact that debt is actually a problem. But there are some things that I totally want to run away from. And I want to give, for once, a very simplistic argument, because I'm not aware of those figures with the precision that my brother has. But I do not want to think that Joachim and Jimmy Wanjigi have monopoly of wisdom. Because they want to make us believe that they have monopoly of wisdom, and there is this problem that is in Kenya that only the two of them are seeing. The Kenyan parliament, Jagero, has seasoned lawyers. This country has people like James Orengo who have been sitting in that parliament, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Martha Karua, and all these revered names, Okiya Mtata. Now, I'm putting myself in this situation, Jagero, to imagine that all these people could not see an illegality that only Joachim and Jimmy Wanjigi can see. And even after they could be able to see it, they want me to believe that this huge illegality is something they cannot take to court and they have not tried to challenge. But it can be prosecuted very well on radios and TVs as a campaign agenda. I find it difficult to want to believe that, because Kenya, as I started, Jagero, is a highly litigious country. We go to court for anything and everything. Even the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, that is normally in other jurisdictions, ends at parliament. In Kenya, it gets to the courts, and then it gets the next court, and then it gets the next court. So all these people, Joachim wants us to believe that everyone else, this thing bypassed them, even when they were opposition. And they could not even use it for political bonga points, because politicians are known to do that. And they didn't. And we have the civil society. One of the most active civil societies in the world is actually in Kenya. We have myriad of civil society, always in court for everything and anything. But there is this one thing that escaped them, and only two people know it, Joachim and Jimmy Wanjigi. And after knowing it, they have been talking about it for the last 1 year, and still nobody has picked it up from them, even if not for themselves, but no one else has picked it up and taken it to court, so that the court can be able to tell us that, by the way, this is an illegality. I'm persuaded to think that we are being taken through some, we are kicking the can down the road. I doubt that monopoly.
Joachim, I want to ask you the same question. Why haven't you guys gone to court about this particular issue?
In response first to what my brother has mentioned.
Okay.
He's talking about belief. Belief is about things you cannot see, you don't know whether they exist. But these are numbers we are coming with a document. from table. This is the document that will be passed next week. There is no other one.
Which is illegal.
Which I am saying it has missing figures.
Which you're saying is illegal.
Now, I wanted to
No, the
show
figures
you.
are missing. It's true. They
Yes.
are missing. The question is, why aren't you contesting it in court?
Now,
And
he
yet
has
it's an
said
illegality.
that
That's
there
the
are
only question I
no,
have.
there are no civil society talking about this. As we speak, Okiya Omtatah is in court on this same issue of odious debt. He's talking about sovereignty of the people. He's talking about
It ended. That case ended, Nani.
approval of parliament.
It ended, and the courts
And
pronounced
again-
themselves. Joaquin.
And again,
Maybe
about-
Jagero, you can just
about
confirm whether
civil
Okiya is
society.
actually in court or
Hello?
not, because that matter was actually settled.
What was the
matter about?
What was
odious
what
debt?
was the
Just
matter
quote
with Okiya Omtatah? There is a gentleman. Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hello, hi, Jagero. Good evening. You all right?
Yeah, we are right. It's a bit heated here in the studio. I don't know whether you're feeling that heat in London. Are you feeling the heat?
I can feel it. I can feel it. The only problem I have, is that the gentlemen are dressed very nice. They look very good.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they have so many half-truths.
Who is having the half truth? Is it Mundalo? Is it Mohammed? Or is it Joaquin?
all
Or is
of-
it Tomasete?
He says all of them.
All of them.
I think that's what he's saying.
Oh.
Kwani anaishi affordable housing.
Yes.
There's something interesting here.
Okay.
A three-judge bench is hearing the consolidated case, the case on odious data.
Okay.
And the court directed the Attorney General and the respondents, including the International Monetary Fund, to file further responses, scheduling the next substantive ruling on the case's preliminary applications. Hearing date is set to be June 25th, 2026. So the case is still active.
Yeah. So what Omtatah was attacking for the first time, because the court grants you your prayers. So Omtatah was contesting public participation. Why am I hearing a bass?
Yes.
Public participation, which became a weak contention. So there was need to dig deeper.
Okay.
And contest the sovereignty of the loans and their illegality. Now, I would like you to pay attention to the hearing of the case. Again, something else, there is these people who did something called the People's Audit. I was there with you. That was a whole civil society thing. And the only issue there is debt. The other day, when Junet Mohammed was defending the budget numbers that we have, the question he asked Didi Nyoro is, how do we pay debt then? There is no explanation that will make sense economically in this country right now without at least mentioning the aspect of debt.
Okay, we have the caller is back.
But there is an element of estimates that he brought in.
Okay.
That estimates, and he says it's being presented and it's illegal and it's approved by parliament.
No,
That's specifically
no.
what I want him to talk about.
He was accusing Didi Nyoro of why ask questions now when we have been borrowing the same way over the years.
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal.
Have you gone to court about it?
Today, when you
That's
want
my
to
question.
shut down Didi Nyoro, you only ask him,
yes,
you are the budget
chair. Yes, of course.
So all these estimates, you are the one preparing them. Why are you talking about debt today when it was a problem 2023?
And my question
That's
is...
the only reason, that's the only way, the people of Broad-Based are asking Nyoro. Every time he tries to speak, that's the only question. So why are you speaking today? If this is an illegality, you are also illegal.
Okay, can we listen to can we listen to the caller? Hello? 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 Oh, I can't hear this guy. People of the internet, It is late in the night.
Very true.
I think that we are going to end it today. Unfortunately, I'm not able to give each and every person an opportunity to say their last words.
No problem.
But I think this has been a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And for the first time, we're having Omasete on the other side of the studio. We are having this gentleman seated with Vash there, and we have Mr. Moha.
In the middle of who and who?
Yes,
In the middle of
for
who
sure.
and who?
And
In the middle of Joachim and Mundara.
Jagero, I have a question for
unfortunately we can't ask the question now.
He can begin yes or no question.
Who is going to be saying yes or no?
I'm asking this gentleman here.
Joachim.
He does not give yeses and no answers. What is your problem?
Joachim, do you foresee us working together?
With Wiper?
That's a very good question.
Hey, once again, I didn't hear it.
Do you foresee the United Alternative Government working with Jimmy Wanjigi? You know, you might not necessarily take the flag.
You want him to say yes or no to that.
But you can be the Minister of Finance. And we can blend all these ideas. Because the whole thing here is to taking root of
So you are saying Jimmy to come and work with you to be a minister? Yes. He had a chance.
No, I'm not saying necessarily.
Yes.
But is there a possibility of us working?
It's a yes or no.
Yes or no. That's not a yes or no.
I told you! People of the internet think
it's a whole page.
You're in my camera. People of the internet, thank you very much. It's been amazing. Thank you for watching. Until another episode. Bye for now.
Wait. No.
Too long, brilliant African minds have watched the world's biggest opportunities pass them by. Not because I think they lack talent, but because they lacked a guide. The International Scholars Program changes that. The International Scholars Program is a one-stop platform that takes ambitious, let me repeat that again, ambitious African students and working professionals alike and walks them all the way to America. So this program has been founded by Bob Mwiti, a very good friend of mine, a Kenyan who is actually right now in the United States. As a matter of fact, he, goes to the United States, comes here, lives here, and goes to the United States because he's got a lot of love for Africans. Over the past 7 years, ISP has placed more than 800 African students in universities across the United States. Full degree programs with funding regardless of financial background. It is one of the very few programs of its kind accredited in both the United States and right here in Kenya, and by the Commission for University Education. So, if you are a student dreaming of studying abroad, ISP walks you through the entire journey. What are they going to do for you? They're going to do school selection. They're going to get you scholarship, applications, and even the visa. And this is the kicker. This is something that I'm very, very, very excited about. If you are already a working professional, so you are here in the country, you are in Kenya, you are in Africa, you are in Zambia, anywhere around Africa, you're a scientist, an engineer, a doctor, a researcher, or any specialist, you can actually qualify for what they call EB2 National Interest Waiver, a U.S. permanent residency pathway. So you don't need to have an employer on the other side. No employer sponsorship required. No long visa queues, just your skill recognized on a global stage. To begin, visit internationalscholarsprogram.com. Or if you want to reach them via call, you can actually call the Nairobi office on 0742 849 555. That is 0742 849 555. Or you can actually walk into their office, the Mirage Tower, Tower 1, 8th floor, Westlands, just off Wayaki Way, next to the GTC. International Scholars Program, empowering dream. So thank you very much. Welcome.